Welcome to another episode of Ableton Live for Curious Minds. So today, I'm trying to make a short video here on just a sort of technique to create interesting beats. I'm using this beat here. I'm going to turn it down. It's really loud, but it sounds like this. Okay, that's really fast. Should be, oops, even faster, like this. Okay, but then I opened something called Simpler, which is available in the instruments in Ableton Live. And then you basically drag the beat into Simpler. So it should look like this. But if you press the slice button, you get slices of that beat. So this one would be C1, C#1, D1. So you play it like a keyboard basically. So you could do that, but you could also, so what I've done here, okay, there's one C1 note here, right? So it would just sound like this. Stop there. So it's just picking out the first sample here over and over again. Nothing exciting, right? But let's add the MIDI effect called random here. So this is a really useful effect actually for lots of things. So now if I add the chance to, let's say, 75, choices to 24, and add. It has to be add because it's going to be added to. So if it's added, so it's got 24 choices. So the pitch could go up by 24 semitones. And this is the percentage that's going to happen. So if you listen now, it's going to pick out all kinds of different slices. Still, we need one more thing, which is the arpeggiator, which is going to then create 8 notes here, and then those are going to be randomized. Okay, so you get what's happening here, right? It's just like constantly picking out random slices of this beat. You can make it less random by automation. So if you take the chance down maybe for the first beat, so you preserve the downbeat. So downbeat's going to be a bass drum. And maybe you want it to be mostly bass drum here as well. You could do something like this. So this is the chance I'm modulating here. So let's hear. So it's easier to sort of follow the beat here. Now let's use the modulators. So I'm going to use the LFO as I usually do. And then I'm going to add that to the rate. Now it's just going to go completely bonkers. Because you see it's like picking out. I don't want that. Maybe I have the rate here to 16th notes or something. So it's going completely bonkers now. But let's change this to random here. And yeah, if we listen now, it's still gonna go kind of bonkers. It's gonna sound crazy. Let's listen. Yeah, so if you could actually lower the depth. And then the modulation amount here. So that's 20. If that's 25, and then you use the depth to sort of decide how much. But what I want to do is to actually automate the depth. So if I want maybe the first one to be sort of less crazy, and then gradually go more crazy, and do the same thing here, and maybe end in like a sort of bonkers state the end. So let's listen. Okay. So now the arpeggiators are always playing the notes coming in. So if I want to create some like silences in there, there are usually, if you have Max for Live, just search for like something called Note Randomize or something. I have one called Chance Play. You have to buy that one, but I use it a lot. So it's basically just a percentage for how often it's played. But you can do it in other ways. So if I do the random again here and subtract one choice, interval 24, that means when the chance is on, the pitch is going to go down by 2 octaves, which means that it's going to go out of scope, basically, and therefore become silent. So that's a way you can do it. So I would also automate that one. Actually, so I don't want the first beat to be silent. I just want it to be sort of gradually. So if a chance goes up a little bit, so more silence, and then same thing here. I don't know how much. You sort of have to sort of fine tune this. The fade in and fade out can actually be interesting. So you can. And then you have the filter here, so you can like do controls. So like, this is something that you could modulate, for example, the filter. So if I map it here to the filter, and then use something like the glider, which is like slow movement, take the modulation down to cut just a little bit, then it should modulate. But you can also make it velocity sensitive. So if I turn it, so like this, and then you would use something like the MIDI effect velocity, and then add some random here also. So it's kind of. So lots of fun things you can do in here. So you can like randomize the panning and do a little bit of spread. I think because it's not a mono beat, maybe the spread. Try it out. So now you get really interesting stereo effects. You can transpose it. So transposition is something you would also like to maybe automate, mostly to make it interesting. Otherwise, it sounds kind of weird. So if I do something like this, I don't know. What I would do probably here, it sounds kind of not so good. So I would probably duplicate this one. And then just make this smaller here in the beginning, and maybe in the last one it sort of goes down a little bit. Maybe have one that goes up even. that's also something you can automate with the LFOs and the modulators. So yeah. So this is, I think this is a fun way to create crazy beats. Maybe I have time for a final thing. Just if you increase the modulation amount or so. I think the pitch effect didn't sound so good, but it's I mean, you just do. I'm just showing things to sort of show what is possible. I think it sounded better without it, to be honest. Then I would add something like the beat repeat, which can be fun on top of that already sort of all over the place beats. It's just kind of fun. So in the break selection by Sample Magic, you could choose another beat if you think like, I like the process, but I don't like how it sounds. So just by choosing something different, this one maybe. So every beat has to sort of be tailored to what you are looking for. So this one didn't sound as good as the first one, but yeah, you get the gist. You don't have to use all the modulations I'm using here, but if you do a couple of them, you can create some interesting variations to your beats. So I really recommend that. These modulators in Ableton Live are super useful. So thanks for listening.